Mondays with Mooch.
Yes, Steve Mariucci, my compadre from NFL Game Day Morning on NFL Network every single Sunday at 9 Eastern Time. And also Thursday Night Football, Bills and Jets, which we will discuss in a moment, is the Thursday night game this week. Good to see you, Mooch. How are you, Steve?
Good morning, Rich. Haven't seen you in a while.
I know, since yesterday morning. First thing I said to you when I saw you Sunday morning was, did you see that Nebraska-Michigan State game? Steve, did you see that Nebraska?
I knew this was coming. I was going to text you right after that play, and then I didn't. Okay, so here's the deal.
So
First
funny.
of all, it's a bad call.
Horrible call.
It was a bad, horrible call.
Horrible.
And the DB was really good. You know why? Because he's coming down the field, and he's looking up for the ball, right? Play the ball, Rich.
Right.
And then they're also taught, if you ask Dion, these guys, they're also taught to squeeze the receiver to the sideline so there's no place to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't get called for, interfering or anything because you're playing for the ball. And so the guy did such a great job. The guy went out of bounds to go around him. And then he came back in. That's an excellent play by that kid. Too bad.
Horrible.
They had a chance to intercept the ball the play before, game over, but this is how it goes.
But the fact
what a finish.
The fact that they got down to that part of the field was pretty incredible enough. Got to play better than the ref's ref, right, Steve? Wouldn't you agree with that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to bring up on this subject at all? Because, Michigan State's 14.
No, on Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan's right behind them. The voters could not
right behind them.
Could not put Michigan in front of Michigan State. Couldn't do it.
Just remember, Michigan's got to play Ohio State still, Rich, and you might,
Steve, they got to play
Indiana. Be a tough
one.
one.
They got to play Indiana first, and they got to go to Penn State
They'll
too.
Beat Indiana.
You think so?
They'll beat Penn State.
Can we just?
Yeah, I do, and then it's going to be.
Can we just make that a win? Can I go ahead and somehow do that? That would be great. I would love that if we could do that. Yeah.
You can't, but you're probably going to win those games, and then here come the Buckeyes.
That's right. I can't wait for that game. Steve, what did you think of the hit on Teddy Bridgewater? Steve, what did you think of that LaMarcus Joyner hit?
Oh, okay. So I had a couple of schools of thought yesterday throughout the day because during the hit, after we saw the hit, I go, okay, bam, there's an elbow or a shoulder to the head. There's Teddy. I know Teddy. He's a great kid. And I went, oh, my God, he's out like a light.
Yeah, it was like he was sleeping.
And yeah, he was out. And so I said, oh, my God, that's going to be a fine. That's going to be a penalty. That's a dirty play, the whole thing. And I don't like it. I hate it. Well, did you listen to LaMarcus Joyner's press conference in the locker room when he explained this
Yeah, we
play?
played that soundbite earlier. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I went, oh, that's a great kid. And I believe the kid because he looked like he was very sincere. I didn't mean to be dirty or anything. I started to go and and it was, we call bang, bang plays. We say that too much. But anyway, and I didn't take it, after the kid explained himself, I said, you know what, that was awesome. I believe the kid. Their mothers know each other and all that stuff.
Right.
But then when Zimmer got up to the podium and he started talking about, oh, yeah, this is about that defensive coordinator, and we know it's Greg Williams, and I know Greg. Greg and I are friends, but we went through the Bounty Gate thing, and boy, Zim was mad. Zim was mad to a point where he wouldn't shake hands with Jeff. He was irate at his press conference, and coaches are like that. Teddy Bridgewater might not play the next game. That's your quarterback.
I know, they're against the Raiders
and Zim
too, Steve.
Is like, both of these guys are friends of mine, and you know what? That was a cold handshake. That wasn't quite like Harbaugh and Schwartz. Remember that one?
I know.
The slap on the back thing. But this goes down in the annals of handshake film.
Have you ever been so ticked off at an opposing coach that you just didn't want to shake the guy's hand? Did that ever happen, Steve?
No, it never happened. I always shook his hand, Rich. I don't know if you remember. I did a demo with the network a few years ago.
I remember.
It was right after the Harbaugh Schwartz fiasco, right? Mm-hmm. So I demonstrated with Michael Irvin, and who was the host? It wasn't you. And you win or lose. You have high or low emotions on the sideline, but then you're suspended in time for about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You have to go across the field and you shake that guy's hand and you say, good game, good luck, whatever that is, like coaches should do to show sportsmanship and professionalism. And then after that, you go to your locker room and you either celebrate or drown your sorrows, whatever you do. But there's got to be a time when you walk across the field that you forget everything in the periphery and you shake the guy's hands because you must. sometimes coaches forget that they carry the emotions out there.
Yeah, but
and
Zimmer
doesn't look good.
Zimmer going ahead and saying what he said, Steve, and you know, just hearing you're part of the coaching fraternity even when you're out of it, as you just basically said, these guys are your friends. But Zimmer going up there and basically pointing the finger at Greg Williams, he basically called him a dirty coach, saying he hopes that the league looks into his past before they make a decision on his player. And do you think Greg Williams riles these guys up to the point where they go out there and play dirty? That's what Zimmer essentially accused him, Steve, of doing yesterday.
I believe those Saints teams, and I've said this before, those Saints teams during the Bounty Gate, I felt they played dirty. They knocked out Brett Favre, they knocked out Kurt Warner, and there was hit after hit after hit above the neck, okay? I think that's changed. And Greg Williams is a heck of a football coach. I believe it's changed. We haven't seen that this year up until now. And it's a young kid that was apologetic for it. So, yeah, we're going to talk about this week. You know, we all are. And it's going to be, I hope we get past it. I hope it's not a new trend. I don't think it will be at all.
All right, Steve, sit right there. We're going to be back in 60 ticks of the clock. I want to ask you about that fight we saw, or the set to, let's put it this way, another argument on the sidelines. This one on the Green Bay sidelines of the Packers now having lost 2 in a row. And then Rex is going back to where he once belonged, something that you once did when you were with the Lions, going back to face the 49ers for the first time. Steve Mariucci, it's our Mondays with Mooch segment. If you're on the phone lines, hold on. We're definitely going to get to your calls. That's here on The Rich Eisen Show. Steve Mariucci here on his usual Mondays with Mooch segment. Rex going back to the Bills. We've got that on Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, going back with the Bills to the Jets. It's a pretty big game, too. Jets sitting there at 5-3, Bills now right behind them at 4-4. A huge game for both of these teams. And when we first heard from him this week today, we thought, okay, here we go, right? He's going to say he's going back. He's got a lot of fans there, friends there, but he can't wait to kick their butts. No, he called it just another game, Steve. Just another game. Do you buy that? What do you buy that?
No.
That's called
Of course not. Coach speak. It's coach speak. You downplay the game to the media.
He never does that, though.
To the outside. But he's starting to, though, a little bit.
He's evolving.
He's starting to.
He's evolving.
Yeah, some people think it's regressing because everybody likes that old fiery Rex.
Right.
But, so he's downplaying the game, another game, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, believe me, because I was with the Niners, got fired, didn't go to the Lions, and now I got to go back to play at the 49ers. And that happened. And you know what? You downplay it, you go, yeah, we're just preparing like normal. But, deep down inside, you want to beat their brains in. You just want the big upset, run the score up and show everybody this is what you've shown the door to. You want to do that. You don't even have to tell your players. Your players know. Come on, your players know because they are in similar situations quite often, right?
Right.
Where they're bouncing from team to team. So I think Rex is just kind of, hiding in the weeds right here now. But deep down, it's burning, believe me.
You think, yeah. So he doesn't even tell the players. But it's funny how I thought this week, of all weeks, he would get out there and start talking. And there are still 2 days left, but maybe he'll do that.
Yeah, stay tuned.
What do you make of that argument on the sidelines with Clinton Dix going up to Julius Peppers and then B.J. Raji stepping in there? You're already laughing. What do you make of that, Steve?
Well, I make of it that the Packers are a little frustrated right now. They were undefeated. Everybody thinks they're maybe the best team, and all of a sudden now you got 2 losses in a row. Look at this. These are all defensive guys. Hey. And I don't know how a defensive back goes up into a defensive lineman's face where all the big guys hang out and start stirring it up a little bit. That surprised me. And then B.J. Raji came in and shows me a little frustration. That happens. It's in the emotion of a game, Rich. That happens between players and coaches. It doesn't happen very often. I got a time where it happened once.
What happened?
It was so awesome.
What happened?
I can't even Here's what happened. So I'm coaching the Niners, and it was a time when Marty Morningwig was calling the plays up in the box, and he was the offensive coordinator. And we were running the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the rain. Bang, smash mouth, boom, all the way down the field. Run the ball. Linemen like to run the ball. I'm just telling you.
Sure.
Okay? And then we went down to inside the 5, and we threw 3 incomplete passes in a row. So now the linemen are coming. We kicked the field goal, settled for a field goal. Now the linemen are ticked off. They're coming back. Why aren't we running the ball? Keep running the ball. So they're over there where the linemen hang out. You know, they all hang out together on the bench. And one of my favorite guys of all time, Dave Fiore, all right, was a guard. And he was so mad, so he turned around and he's looking up in the press box, for Marty Morningwig. And he stood on the bench and he said, Marty! And he wanted to flip him off. Rich, this is during the game. I'm watching this. This is awesome. He wanted to flip him off. So he goes, Marty, you flip him off. But his fingers were taped. These fingers were taped. These were taped.
So he made the
They
Vulcan
were taped
symbol?
like this. And he was flipping Marty off like this.
Like a Vulcan.
Nanu, Nanu, Marty. And I'm going, oh my God, this is one of the best ones of all time.
By the way, it's Spock, not Mork. You're crazy.
I don't know who it was. It was Dave Fiore. That was awesome, man. He was flipping them off. Well, he had fingers taped, you know, because they're like Baldinger. You know, their fingers are already all over the place. So he had them taped together.
Oh, you're the best. What makes you most mad before I let you go? What makes Mooch most mad for Week 9 in the NFL?
Well, you know, yeah. So we're all picking the Broncos to win that game, right? Going away.
Yeah.
And the Colts just put the shocker on them. Well, you know, the Broncos have a chance to get the ball back and get Peyton the records and win the game and all that. Well, so a little fight ensues, right, with Dwayne Allen and Von Miller. Why guys do that, I don't know. Right there, Von Miller should have got a penalty. Dwayne Allen, well, look at Aqib Talib. Look at Aqib Talib. What did you poke him in the eye? Why don't you? And I said, like, what? What just happened? Are you kidding me? And you know what? And then Aqib says, maybe he's truthful. He says, I wasn't trying to poke him in the eye. I was just trying to hit him in the head. This just in. Hitting them in the head's a penalty too. All right, so this just screws up their chances of winning that game. Does it lose the game for them? You decide. But when guys lose their temper over stupid stuff, that wasn't even his fight. And it was like, you just blew the game. I can't believe you did that. And then in the paper today, you know, there's like 2 fingers inside the, oh my God.
Inside the helmet.
That makes me mad, Rich.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And I'm sure Kubiak was livid too. But it's an interesting way you put it.
Oh my God.
Did it lose the game? No, but it cost them from winning. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And it cost
kept them from getting a chance to win.
Having Peyton Manning. You got your Peyton Manning have an opportunity to come out there, you know. Steve, thanks
Crazy
again.
stuff.
I will see you on Thursday for just another game between the Bills and the Jets.
Okay, we'll be
Thursday.
there.
You got
Thanks,
it.
Rich.
That's Steve Mariucci.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.